Trucks, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years.
All right, welcome to Celtics postgame live. Tom Giles, Scal, Eddie House with you here as the Celtics fall in Denver. Final score 103-84. That is a season low in points for the Celtics. The previous was 89. Put up just 84 points in this one as Celtics actually had the lead going late into the third quarter before Denver went on a 15-0 run, 11-0 run to close out that quarter. And that was really the turning point. And no turning back for the Denver Nuggets as they hung on for the win. Eddie, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the loss tonight?
Oh, we came out there. We just got beat, and I don't know if it was the end of the road trip. And Scal always talks about scheduling losses. Going in on a back-to-back, going into Denver, a lot of teams always pretty much lose. It's very hard to get a win off the back-to-back in Denver. It seemed like at times we had too many live ball turnovers. We weren't getting back on defense. It was like we were a step slow on everything. Our shots was short. It was just one of them games. You could just chalk it up to one of them games. Ran into a good team, and at the back end of a road trip, looking ready to get home, and there's no excuse for that. But at the same time, things like that happen in the NBA.
Jokic was really good in the second half, and Denver started making shots. And we knew in the first half watching they got a ton of open ones. And then we didn't – I thought the physicality was the problem. Not where you would think, like not just the rebounding, but the physicality of like not being able to turn the corner and get to the rim. Like anytime you have an isolation situation, we were not taking advantage of those situations. So I would love to see them again. If we could match up with them in the finals, it would be really fun to watch, that series. But it looks like another team that's handsy that gives us problems.
Yeah, this wasn't a team that came in with the reputation for their defense. It's all about their offense, but tonight it did feel like they played a different brand of defense, maybe similar to what we saw in Boston. But again, it goes to the third quarter where the Celtics had that 1-point lead. And Scal, was this just the Celtics kind of running out of gas at the end of the third quarter when Denver goes on this 11-0 run to close things out?
And I think it started with Jokic, and then it ended in the fourth quarter with Valanciunas. So, yeah, I just felt like we were running in mud and not a lot of good offensive possessions during that time.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. We just didn't have good possessions. We had a few good looks. We just wasn't knocking them down. I don't know, again, if, their legs got heavy for, after the long road trip. You going to California, going to Golden State, then to L.A., then you come into Phoenix and playing the back-to-back the very next day against Denver at altitude and stuff like that. And, I mean, like I said, we can't make no excuse. I got to give credit to the Nuggets because they made their shots when they needed to. They balled out, and we couldn't knock down any shots. And again, our lack of making shots kind of affected our defense. You know what I mean? And I always talk about that. Like, if we're locked in defensively, it seems like we start making shots just like last night against Phoenix. But this is a different team. This is a total different monster in Denver and how you got to guard them. And think about they did that without Jamal Murray out there. Handed us a really good one tonight.
You brought up the knocking down shots, Eddie, and both teams attempted 43 threes. We talked about it at halftime, too. Denver really struggled shooting from deep. They only finished the game 15 of 43, so 35%. But the Celtics just 12 of 43, and you're kind of bringing it up there. It felt like they had a couple of good looks, and I don't know. I thought they were good looks. Eddie, what did you think about the looks they were getting, and why they just weren't able to hit them?
I don't know. Look, that's a good look. All these have been good looks so far. That's a contested shot, but everything looked like it was short. A lot of shots were short. Guys were getting in the paint and still missing. See, all that is front rim. That tells me that most of the time that you're fatigued. The first thing that's going to go when you're a jump shooter is your leg. That was front rim as well. First thing that goes when your jump shot is missing is your legs. That's how you can tell if you're fatigued or not. You're like, okay, my legs is gone. I got to bend a little bit more, or I got to put a little bit more arc on it and change my shot. But those are the things that you got to make those adjustments on the fly and real quickly within the game. But I mean, credit due where credit is due. Denver came in and like I said, they handed us a good ass whooping.
Yeah, and again, it was
after dark. We can say that word now. Okay.
I mean, 12 of 43 from three is going to do that. Celtics, by the way, see at the bottom of the screen there, 2-8 when they shoot under 29% from three this season.
Denver 7 of 14 in the second half.
They were 7 of 14.
Yeah, they struggled mightily. They shot 25% in the first half, a lot of open shots. Then they had more Jokic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And then they were more efficient from three.
Did it also feel like they got out and transitioned a little bit on that run?
Off of our bad offense. This is one of those. We had a bad day today. I mean, we could say it 105 different ways, but we just had a bad day. We didn't execute. We turned the ball over at a high clip. Weren't able to take advantage of one-on-one matchups, like their physicality, bumping off of our spots, some offensive rebounds. Today was not a great day for us.
No, it wasn't. And you know what? It was live ball turnovers that was hurting us as well.
They kill you.
Yeah, them live ball turnovers. And next thing you know, they was running, you know, and they were getting either layups or they getting a wide open three or they going to the free throw line, putting pressure on the back line of the defense. It just looked like we was just a step slow, like the leg was heavy. But again, you know, that happens when you go to Denver on back-to-backs, and it's not surprising. It's just the way that, you know, I'm surprised of how we turned the ball over. You know, we were just super sloppy on the offensive end. I didn't think our spacing was good tonight. And defensively, like you said, and that probably has a lot to do with the physicality of Denver, while our spacing was the way it was. And then also we just allowed our missed shots to affect our defense. We just didn't play with the same energy that we played with last night.
All right. You know, you guys also brought it up with Nikola Jokic kind of changing the game in the third quarter, Scal, and he finished with 30 points in this one, 11 of 28 from the field, still had 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Just kind of felt like a blue-collar kind of night from him.
Yeah, he didn't even play well today, and he had 30. I mean, he almost gets a triple-double every night. Like, that was a bad game for Jokic. If you're wondering how good he is, that was I don't want to call it a bad game. That was just a below-average game for Jokic today. And he can get his shot off. Look out how much he owns his space, soft touch, and he started making threes later on in the game.
I mean, he's the best player in the world. I mean, when you don't have a great game and you still putting up these crazy numbers like this and playing with a messed up wrist that everybody's been talking about, that they were talking about on the broadcast, and you know, and still able to affect the winning the way he did. I mean, what else can we say about him? I mean, they showed that graphic where he finished first in MVP, then second, then first, and then second. So he's at the top of the list of probably the best player in the world right now.
Hey, he a top 10 player all time right now?
I like to wait till the career is over with to speak like that. You know what I mean?
You got a lot of hardware, man.
He knocking on the door.
Yeah.
He right there.
Yeah, and again, in this game in particular, was those 15 points in the third quarter when Denver took control of this game. And Jokic was right in the middle of all of it. Celtics fall to 38-20 on the season. Nuggets improved to 37-22. 103-84, your final. Quick break. We're back with more here on Celtics Postgame Live.
Celtics Postgame Live is presented by your New England